I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're good and educated about the show, click on that merchandise tab. It's going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our special event tees, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck are all still available in our online store. Socks, throw, pillows, wall art, and even bed sets. Outfit your entire body or your entire home with ROP merchandise. We sure would appreciate that. Social media. This is how you can help out this independent hockey operation. So please listen up. This is of critical importance, Renegades. Please give us a like, a follow, a subscription, or whatever it is on the following platforms. On Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook. That's where you can find us also. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, as several of you have done in recent days, and we sure do appreciate the uptick in subscriptions. That sure means a lot to us. Stick, taps, love, and respect. The audio podcast can be found on numerous platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck on your preferred platform, or check out some of these examples. Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon. We are on all of those different platforms. Again, just search Renegades of Puck. And we sure do appreciate everyone at the Full Press NHL Network for helping us out and helping more Renegades than ever hear the show. Stick, taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you. Venmo is how you can become a partner of the show. Please just scan the QR code that's currently on your screen, or go to Venmo and search Renegades of Puck. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you watching and listening right now, we've been able to make significant upgrades throughout this entire season, and we've got some downtime coming up where we're going to be able to make some upgrades to our tech behind the scenes. So thank you so much for helping us out. Even $1 goes a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck, and believe me, every single one of those pennies goes directly to supporting the Renegades of Puck and helping us make things better around here. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. Now, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me get to the goods. It's time for Operation number 743. That's right, Operation number 743. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. And with just 3 games to go in the season, their season is still very much alive. After 79 games skated, they have a record of 40, 31, and 8. They have 88 points on the road, which is where their next game will take place. And it will be their final road game of the regular season. They have a record of 19, 17, and 4. So no matter what happens, the Nashville Predators will finish the season with a winning record on the road. They have scored 219 goals. They have given up 229 goals. That means they have a goal differential of -10. Now, the latest update on the Central Division and the 3-team weave at the top continues with just a handful of games to go. Colorado has the most games left to play in 4. They're also currently in first place due to the tiebreaker with the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars slipped to second. Each team has 102 points. The Minnesota Wild have 100 points, and the Nashville Predators will face the Avalanche and the Wild before the end of their schedule. But let's get back to the Central Division. Winnipeg Jets currently in 4th place with 91 points, and you'll find the Nashville Predators with 88 points, and a little E has now come for St. Louis, Arizona, and of course the Chicago Blackhawks will finish in last place again this season. Now for the Predators, the wild card race is the only race that matters for them moving forward. Now, congratulations to the Seattle Kraken. In only their 2nd season of existence, they have clinched their first ever playoff spot. They have clinched the first wild card spot, and they will welcome in the number 2 seed overall once that is fully determined. That will probably be the winner of the Central Division. Now, Winnipeg is in the 2nd wild card spot currently with 91 points, but Calgary is just behind them with 90 points. 2 games remaining for Calgary, and then Nashville with 88 points, 3 games remaining. So the Nashville Predators no longer have control of their own destiny. They'll be needing some help from the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets will have to lose at least 2 of their remaining games, and the Nashville Predators will have to accrue 5 out of 6 points able to make the playoffs. That means defeating the Calgary Flames in this next game coming up. So that gets you caught up on the standings, and that gets you caught up on the wild card race, which again is the most important thing. And it is truly great to have significantly important hockey to be talking about Nashville Predators and playoff implications with just 3 games to go on the season, considering how bad it looked, the dismantling, the injuries, all of that, to still have a sliver of a chance to get in and a head-to-head matchup against the team directly in front of you in the standings, it is truly great to be here in the bunker talking about it. Now, let's talk about the Nashville Predators' remainder of their schedule. Of course, after this game in Calgary, that will eclipse the road portion of the schedule. I cannot believe they're already done with all of their road games this season. Thursday, Friday, back home at Bridgestone Arena to close out the regular season schedule. Minnesota and Colorado Thursday and Friday. Now with the three-team weave still very much alive at the top of the Central Division, it's to be determined how Minnesota and Colorado may approach these games. Will they be locked into their spots? Will the division already be determined by that point? We will have to wait and find out. For the Calgary Flames, a record overall, 37, 27, and 16, 90 points. They are fifth right now in the Pacific Division. Of course, I have mentioned where they are on the wild card spot, one spot ahead of the Nashville Predators. On home ice, the Calgary Flames have a record of 19, 16, and 4. Goal differential of +7. Let's take a look at their most recent stretch of hockey. Let's take a look at a sample size of 5 games. Let's go back to the end of March the 31st. 5-4 overtime win at Vancouver. Followed that up on the 2nd of April with a 5-4 win versus the Anaheim Ducks. On the 4th, a 4-3 loss versus Chicago. And on the 5th, a 3-1 win at the Winnipeg Jets. And most recently, on the 8th of April, it was a 3-2 shootout loss at the Vancouver Canucks. So, for the Nashville Predators and Calgary Flames, this will be the third and, of course, final regular season meeting between these two Western Conference rivals. Go all the way back to November the 3rd when the Nashville Predators had their first visit to Calgary. They left there with a 4-1 victory. It was Forsberg and Duchesne with a goal and an assist each, and Josi and Jankowski with the other goals in the game. So 3 of the 4 goal scorers for the Nashville Predators out injured right now. But Jankowski will have an opportunity to get a chance to skate against his former club again. Lankinen, 29 out of 30 in that game, picked up the victory. We go to January the 16th when the Nashville Predators hosted the Calgary Flames for the only time at Bridgestone Arena. UC Saros got the start, dominant performance, 38 out of 39. The captain Roman Josi and Parsonen each with the goals in that game. Neither one of them are available. Roman Josi, though, is still listed as day-to-day and is on the road trip, whatever that may mean. So the Nashville Predators are 2-0 on the season. They've outscored the Calgary Flames 6-2. I just mentioned Roman Josi, still listed as day-to-day. There is still word and possibility and rumor that he may get back in the lineup, but I feel like we've been hearing those rumors for quite some time now with the Nashville Predators' playoff hopes being just a sliver at this point. Is it even worth bringing the captain back at this point in the year? It would have been such a boost to have him back for the Winnipeg game. So on the defensive side of things, players that could potentially come back from injury for the last couple of games of the season, Josi, Luzon, and Carrier. On the forward side of things, Forsberg, Cole Smith, and Juuso Parsonen. Several other players, of course, are out for the remainder of the season and quite a bit beyond that. When it comes to the rankings and the matchups between these two teams, the Calgary Flames are going to be ahead in a lot of these statistical metrics, and the Nashville Predators are, frankly, sinking near the bottom of the league in several metrics. It's quite amazing that they're still alive in the playoff race at all with some of the numbers they have. Let's talk about it. Goals for 2.71 for Nashville. That is 28th overall in the NHL. Now, goals for on the Calgary side, 3.18 is 17th in the NHL. In the goals against category, 2.87 given up by Nashville is 12th best in the league. Calgary one spot behind them at 13th, giving up 3.06 per game. In the shots for category, now Nashville is outgunned. And yes, I meant it that way. 29.6 shots per game for Nashville is 24th in the league. In the shots for category for Calgary, 35.6 per game on net, second overall in the league. And this plays right into this next statistical metric, which the Nashville Predators are simply not that great at. Shots against, 33.3 on the season. That's 27th in the NHL for Nashville. And the Calgary Flames only giving up 27.3 shots per game. That's third in the NHL. So the Nashville Predators are going to have to take advantage of the shot opportunities they have, because this matchup looks a lot like it's setting up for the Preds to not have very many shots, but Calgary is probably going to pile the shots up. Check that math a little bit later. I think that analysis is going to be spot on. When it comes to the special teams, the Nashville Predators have the 27th rated power play in the NHL, 43 out of 239 conversions. That's 18%. The Calgary Flames have the 20th rated power play in the NHL. They've converted 20% of the time, 49 out of 245 opportunities. Now, when the penalty kill is to be discussed right here, both of these teams have top 10 metrics in this category. The Nashville Predators' 82% kill rate is 9th best in the league. They have given up 48 power play goals against, but they have been just otherworldly the last month plus now. The penalty kill for the Calgary Flames, 81.9% is their kill rate. Their ranking in the NHL is 10th, and they have given up 47 power play goals. on the season. When it comes to individual statistics, we always like to talk about the top 5 individual scores and the potential goaltender matchup. So let's talk about the visiting Nashville Predators. Now, it's tough. Roman Josi has been out of the lineup for quite some time, but still leads the team in scoring, 18 goals, 41 assists, 59 points. Matt Duchene, second on the team in scoring. He leads the team in goals with 22, 34 assists, 56 points. Also out injured, unfortunately, and will be so for the remainder of the season. Forsberg, 19 and 23, 42 points, out for the remainder of the season, more than likely. Tommy Novak, though, is active and is your active scoring leader. 17 goals and 24 assists for 41 points. Glass, 14 and 19 for 33. Now, when it comes to the Calgary Flames and their individual scoring leaders, Tyler Toffoli, 34 goals, 39 assists for 73 points. Lindholm, 22 and 42 for 64. Kadri, 24 goals, 31 assists, 55 points. Backlund, 18, 36, 54. And Jonathan Huberdeau, 15 goals, 39 assists for 54 points overall. Now, in net, expected to see the matchup of Markstrom for Calgary, record of 23, 21, 11, and 8.92 save percentage, a 2.94 goals against average. Against UC Saros, 31, 23, and 7, a 9.18 save percentage, a 2.70 goals against average. And again, although UC Saros may not make the playoffs, and it's a long shot and a sliver of him getting into the playoffs, if he leads his team to the playoffs, there is no doubt that he has increased his potential and odds to win the Vezina Trophy. He has simply carried this entire franchise on his back. The number of players that have been dealt away, traded away, and the number of players that have been out of the lineup injured for the last several weeks, it is simply incredible that the Nashville Predators, with 3 games to go, are still even in it. UC Saros is about to put up another hell of a performance right here against the Winnipeg Jets. So let's talk about UC Saros versus Connor Hellebuck in Winnipeg. We call it the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up right now on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to April the 8th of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were in Winnipeg to take on the Jets for one of the biggest games of the season. John Hines deployed his lines in the following way. Sanford, Glass, and Tomasino make up your first line. Sherwood, Novak, and Evangelista the second line. Trenton, Sisson, and Asplund make up the third line. And Afanasyev and Jankowski-McCarron are your fourth line. Defensive pairings are as follows. McDonough and Fabro, Barry and Livingstone, Stastny and Foote. UC Saros, of course, gets the start net in this pivotal game for the Nashville Predators. We are 1:09 into the first period, and Hellebuck's coming out with a save on Glass. It's the first shot on goal of the game for either team. At 1:20 of the first period, Glass is off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Should have been called holding, but it's 2 minutes regardless. Saros comes up with a save on Dubois. Strong pressure by Winnipeg, but only one shot on net overall. 3:45 into the first period, Hellebuck comes up with a save on Tomasino. 7:44 the first. DeMello's off the box. 2 minutes for boarding on Sanford. It was nasty looking. You can tell by the reaction. DeMello clearly had no intent there, but still a penalty. Hellebuck comes up with a save on Trennan. 4 total saves. It was good zone time for the Nashville Predators over the course of that power play, but Hellebuck was able to stand tall. At 12:19 of the first period, Saros comes up with a save on Nino Niederreiter. 12:47 of the first. Nashville, too many men on the ice. Bench minor. Scheifele hits the iron. The rebound is missed. Wide open net there for the Winnipeg Jets. They could not convert. Saros could win another save on Ehlers, and that would do it for the Winnipeg power play. 16:46 of the first period, Saros comes up with a save on Morrissey. We hit the end of the first period, and Nashville is out shooting the Winnipeg Jets 8-7. We are 2:28 into the second period. UC Saros coming in with save on Nino Niederreiter from the slot off of the rush. 6:44. Another save on Nino Niederreiter. 8:19 of the second period. Saros a save on Dubois. 9:04. Ehlers hits the goalpost, and at this point, halfway through the period, Winnipeg is just buzzing. Nashville desperately needing the TV timeout. They get the TV timeout, but it doesn't do anything to alleviate the pressure or the stress, because immediately after the TV timeout at 10:36 of the second, Saros comes with a save on DeMello at 13:15. Manalainen's shot is stopped by Saros, but at 15:06, Winnipeg is finally able to penetrate that wall with Scheifele's 40th goal of the season. It was a wrist shot from the slot. It goes off of the glove of Saros and trickles over the goal line into the net. That comes at the 15:06 mark of the second period, putting Winnipeg ahead 1-0. And the Jets have the ice just completely tilted. They're dominating in every facet of the game at this point. And frankly, the Nashville Predators were completely worn down, run down, and out of gas by the time Scheifele went ahead and fired this wrist shot into the net. 15:36 of the second period. Citizens off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. UC Saros is about to put up some significant work. First, a save on Dubois. Then Scheifele would hit the post, but then Saros back to work with another save on Scheifele. And the puck is put in after the whistle. It was reviewed, no goal. It was more of intent to whistle than after the whistle once you got to see the replay and hear the audio. But nonetheless, it's taken off of the board, so we go back to work, and Saros comes up with another save on Ehlers before the end of that power play for the Winnipeg Jets. At 18:51 of the second period, UC Saros comes with a save on DeMello, kicking out the leg and giving away a big rebound, but out of dangerous area. We hit the end of the second period, and for the Nashville Predators, it was saved by the bell type scenario here. Winnipeg outshooting Nashville for the game 27-13. So Winnipeg picks up 20 shots on goal in the period, while the Nashville Predators only pick up 5. But this is the stat that tells you just how dominant Winnipeg was in the period. The shot attempts were 43-7 in favor of the Winnipeg Jets. I'll say that again, 43-7 in favor of the Winnipeg Jets in the second period. 1:14 into the third period. Saros is back to work already, coming with a save on Dubois. The intermission did not seem to rejuvenate or revitalize the Nashville Predators. 1:36 of the third period. Pionk puts his 10th goal of the season in, giving Winnipeg a 2-0 lead. It was Glass colliding with Saros, who was well out of his net, trying to be aggressive. It led to an easy finish for the Winnipeg Jets, and they hold a 2-0 lead. 3:58 of the third period. Saros comes with a save on Ehlers. 5:33. Saros a save on Stenlund at 7:05. Hellebuck has to go to work, coming with a save on Luke Evangelista. 11:40. Hellebuck comes with another save on Fabro. 14:30. Glass hits the crossbar. The Predators' best opportunity of the third period to make a game of this in 1952 with the extra tackle on Hellebuck. Comes with a save on Glass at close range. Glass continues to jam away. That leads to a large scrum. The Preds continue fighting all the way up to the very, very final seconds of this game against the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg secures the victory on home ice in a pivotal game in the playoff race. 2-0 over the Nashville Predators. They outshoot the Preds 38-28, and the Nashville Predators, frankly, were beaten from start to finish in this game. The Preds fought hard, and they competed, and they never gave up, and they never quit, but they were, frankly, beaten and dominated from one end of the ice to the other, and Hellebuck gets the shutout in this game. An incredible goaltending matchup. Hellebuck and Saros in this game. Saros was otherworldly for the majority of this game. The Nashville Predators in front of him just could not stand up to the task that was asked of them tonight in Winnipeg. So Winnipeg secures the victory and gets closer to possibly securing that final spot in the Western Conference playoff. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We've got analysis, we've got stats, we've got the box score opinions, and so much more coming up right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros was 36 out of 38 in this game, and that second period, though, 19 out of 20. Yes, he gave up a goal, but he did everything he could for this Nashville Predators team tonight. He was absolutely incredible. Yes, got some help from the posts as well, but UC Saros did all that he could against the Winnipeg Jets. UC Saros versus Connor Hellebuck. That is outstanding goaltending matchup right there. Hellebuck wins this one, gets the shutout, but UC Saros absolutely deserves the credit for all the work that he put in. The Nashville Predators were just pinned in their own zone the entire game, and UC Saros is the reason that this game maintained a respectable margin of defeat for the Nashville Predators, and the Nashville Predators were not blown out in this game. And another reason that they weren't blown out in this game, they fought until the very end. With just a couple seconds to go, the Nashville Predators were still jamming away at the net, and were still trying to score and getting in a scrum, and you know what? I love to see it. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's the jam right there. That's exactly what we're talking about. This young Nashville Predators team, against all odds in this Winnipeg game, they were not ready for that level of competition. They were not ready for NHL playoff caliber hockey, which is frankly what the Winnipeg Jets were playing tonight against the Nashville Predators. They fought, though, until the very end. UC Saros and the Nashville Predators in front of them, they worked their asses off. They blocked a lot of shots. They gave up the body, and they did all that they could until exhaustion at the very end. They fell in this game, but you got to give the stick taps to them for fighting until the very end of this one. And the defense, pinned down, running on fumes. It was a truly a valiant effort. And when you look at who's out there for the defense core, it is Livingstone, Stastny, and Foote are your bottom three of the defensemen. McDonough, Fabro, and Barry, your other three defensemen. That's not exactly the Nashville Predators defense core. That's a Herculean effort you're asking from a lot of guys with limited experience. The D was pinned down, and that third D pair, especially Stastny and Foote, when they got pinned in the zone a couple times, I think that's a couple of shifts that were more than 2 minutes long. Just the staggering amount of effort and exhaustion that comes from a shift like that. The Winnipeg Jets did exactly what they should do in those moments. They took advantage, they wore them down, and then they went ahead and picked their spot, and they scored, and they won this game. And they did it over and over again. UC Saros, the reason that the Predators stayed in this thing. They really, the D was pinned down, and they were running on fumes, but they managed to hang in there. I really want to highlight Fabro and McDonough. Yes, Barry is also a veteran defenseman, but Fabro and McDonough started the season on the team. Were expected big things from them, and both of them performed really well in this game. I just want to give you a couple numbers for Dante Fabro. 4 blocked shots. That was tied for the team lead. 8 hits, led the team. 23-56 total time on ice. That led the team. Dante Fabro out there, and with the amount of time he was in his own D zone, it had to just be absolutely exhausting, and it's time to start appreciating Dante Fabro these last couple of games of the season. He has turned that corner, and he's turned into the regular defenseman that we all had hoped and expected and anticipated he would become at some point. 23-56, 8 hits, 4 blocked shots, and 2 shots on goal in a game where the Nashville Predators were frankly beaten on for about 59 minutes out of the entire game. And McDonough, just a true pro out there, just handling his business. Also 23-56, tied for the team lead in time on ice with Dante Fabro. So the two of them out there just working incredibly hard. McDonough also had 3 hits, also had 3 block shots in this game. So give it up to those guys on the D for really trying hard. Now listen, the next point, all hope not lost. That's a big haymaker that the Nashville Predators took tonight, being unable to skate with, compete with, and to ultimately be able to secure any points at all in Winnipeg in what was the biggest game of the season for this Nashville Predators roster. It's a tough one, but it just reduces the chances and makes it more difficult and takes the Predators' season out of their own hands. But all hope is not lost. There is still a scenario where the Nashville Predators could find themselves in the playoffs. They have 3 games to go, and they have to take care of their business. Let's find out exactly what they need to do. Brian Baston's going to jump in the trenches right now because this part is more important right now than anything else. The playoff scenarios and the playoff magic numbers, Brian Baston's got those, so he's going to jump in the trenches right now. He's filed this report from ontheforecheck.com. You can find him on Twitter at Brian Baston. He's got the charts you need to see, the numbers you need to know. Brian, bring the jam.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. The Nashville Predators went on a magical run this week with big wins over Las Vegas and Carolina, but unfortunately could not muster up any of it once they left Bridgestone Arena. And after a first period that saw Nashville more or less play even with the Winnipeg Jets, The second they stepped on the ice in the second period, there was nothing left in the tank, and Nashville fell in regulation 2-0 against the Winnipeg Jets, all but keeping them out of the playoffs. But they're not officially eliminated just yet. They sit at just a 6% chance at making the playoffs, and we're probably not going to have any more of these playoff updates, most likely, but let's do it one more time, and so let's talk about tonight's one big stat. Now, there's no magic number for clinching a spot in the playoffs anymore. Not it's realistic, but there definitely is an elimination magic number, and that definitely matters more. And that number is 3. That's how many points Nashville can either lose or Winnipeg wins it takes to eliminate Nashville from playoff contention. And despite Calgary's overtime loss to Vancouver tonight, leaving them within striking distance of Nashville at 90 points, the Jets hold the spot, so they're the bar to clear. So why 3 points? Nashville sits at 88 points with 3 games left, and they can only get a maximum of 94 if they win out. Now, the Jets currently sit at 91 points now after the win, and 3 points would put them equal with Nashville at 94. But Winnipeg holds the tiebreaker in regulation wins over Nashville, so even if Nashville finishes at 94, if Winnipeg gets 3 points, they automatically clinch the postseason. So what does this mean going into the final season, and what is there to watch for? Well, the tragic part about this is the Predators could be eliminated Monday night if they lose in any fashion and the Winnipeg Jets they win in regulation. And Nashville has to be able to get 2 points in order to stay alive, because Winnipeg can lose on Monday as well, but they still have 2 more chances to get those 3 points, and Nashville still isn't in control of their playoff destiny after that. So it's going to be very, very difficult. And the Preds could win in regulation, and that would keep them mathematically alive. But any points gained after for the Jets still count, and so Nashville does not control their destiny unless Winnipeg loses too. So there's not much left for us to go over. Nashville essentially has to win out and hope Winnipeg loses 2 in regulation to even have a chance. But Nashville has Minnesota and the Colorado Avalanche, who are always terrifying, left after the Calgary game on Monday. Well, the regular season's all but over at 6% chance, but like the great cinematic character Lloyd Christmas once said, "So you're saying there's a chance?" No, there's definitely not, but wouldn't that be fun as hell if it was? Back to you, Charlie.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Now listen, when it comes to the box score, there's frankly not a whole lot to talk about. The Nashville Predators got shut out in this game. They didn't score a goal. They don't have any assists, so there's not anything to talk about in those particular columns. But moving on down the list, shots on goal. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Nashville Predators with 3 shots on goal. That's tied for the team lead. All of them are forwards. I'm not going to read all their names. Block shots. Fabro had 4 in this game. Impressive effort. Zach Sanford had 3. Livingstone had 4 as well. Livingstone tied the Nashville Predators for the lead in block shots. So great to see Livingstone coming up, making his debut in the NHL, contributing 14.52 in time on ice. Good for him as well. And also contributing 2 hits and 4 block shots. So good to see Livingstone getting his first opportunity, first taste in the NHL, and putting up a couple of numbers on the box score. When it comes to the physical side of things, I already mentioned Dante Fabro had 8 hits in the game. That did lead the Nashville Predators by considerable amount. Sherwood had 5 hits in this game. And then you look around, McDonough also chipped in with 3. Trennan chipped in with 3, and it was pretty sparse beyond that. It was actually, as far as physical play goes, somewhat of a light night between the Nashville Predators and the Winnipeg Jets. We've come to expect a whole lot more. Let's face it, one of the more iconic images of the rivalry is having so many players in each of the penalty boxes that there were no longer a vacancy in the penalty box. It was not that kind of game tonight. It had the potential, and there were moments where it started to kind of percolate a little bit, but it never boiled over, and both teams remained totally composed. No fights in this game. And again, the physical play overall, it was there, but it was fairly light for a rivalry game with the amount of playoff implication. Nashville Predators couldn't catch the Winnipeg Jets, frankly, to put much of a body on them in this game. Time on ice leaders, Yakov Trenin led the forwards in time on ice, 18:36 in total time on ice. Sanford also chipped in with 18:03, and Sissons with 18:32. On the defensive side of things, I already talked about it, 23:56 was tied between Fabro and McDonough for overall time on ice leaders for the Nashville Predators. UC Saros in net, 36 out of 38 in this game, and highly impressive. And again, the shot attempts for Winnipeg in the second period alone, 43-7, and UC Saros ended up being 19 out of 20 officially in that period. He held the Preds in it as long as he could, and he did all he could, but there's only so much that he can do. So that's going to do it for the box score. Just not a whole lot of numbers on here to report, but that gets you up to date on everything that happened between the Nashville Predators and the Winnipeg Jets. We'll be back on the Renegades of Puck podcast to close things out right after this message. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com, and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. In the most important game of the season for the Nashville Predators, with an opportunity still to control their own destiny and move closer to securing a playoff spot, without the captain Roman Josi, without Philip Forsberg, without Matt Duchene, without so many other players, both injured and traded away as the Nashville Predators started to dismantle the core of the team just before the trade deadline. This Nashville Predators team was left out and hung out to dry and was considered done for the season. What they have been able to do is make a run in the last couple of weeks that frankly has inspired the fan base to start engaging and becoming more active in ways that they haven't in about 4 or 5 seasons now. It truly has been enjoyable to cover, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. It's always great to see an underdog achieving things right before your very eyes, especially when it was so unexpected. To hear the broadcasters on ESPN, to hear the broadcasters on the NHL Network saying things like, Tommy Novak, who is that? And all of the other players that you even are saying that as you're watching some of the games. I mean, let's face it, when you hear that Livingstone's getting called up and Stastny's getting called up, for as in tune as you may have been already with this Nashville Predators team, organization, and the Milwaukee Admirals, you were probably shocked to learn some of these names. I say all of that to say this: with all of those names out of the lineup in the most important game of the season, this young core Nashville Predators team, the future of this Nashville Predators team, they fought. They fought till the very end, and they never quit, and they never gave up, and it is a damn good thing to see for this Nashville Predators team. Just imagine this particular group now of young players that are hungry and fighting till the very end, surrounded by Roman Josi and Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene and Carrier back in the lineup. All of these players, these are significant pieces in the NHL and really, really good hockey players. So this good young core that has developed this never say die attitude, fight till the very end, never give up, no half stepping. I absolutely love to see it. Once all of these other players flow in again through training camp. They gain some chemistry together, and we go into next season. If it all starts to gel together, it could be something very, very special. And the Nashville Predators' young core roster right now is getting so much tremendous experience. It's not just a handful of games. It's now been well over a month that this core and this youth movement has been taking care of business and, frankly, keeping the franchise alive for the season and keeping playoff hopes alive and keeping the fan base engaged. It's truly been enjoyable to watch, and if this team can continue to fight till the end, if they can continue to be the pesky Preds that everyone fell in love with in this city in the past, well, from there, they can add the skill and they can add whatever they need around it, because you have one of the best goaltenders in the NHL. There is no doubt about that. You have one of the best defensemen in the NHL. There's no doubt about that. You have two 40-goal scorers coming back, and Ryan Johansson also coming back. You have some of your best offensive players in franchise history all coming back to this roster next season to mix and match with all of this different talent. And I'll just go ahead and leave on one more note. All of this talent, getting all of this experience, the number of them that are going to get a chance to go back to Milwaukee and play for the Admirals as they make a run in the playoffs is going to be incredible. Watching the Admirals against the Chicago Wolves the other afternoon, the Admirals were just outnumbered. They were outmatched. Chicago Wolves are already the class of the AHL. The Milwaukee Admirals are about to get a bunch of black aces back in their lineup coming in to help in support for the AHL playoffs. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That's why we are going to turn our coverage completely over to Milwaukee Admirals coverage. We are going to do full game breakdowns of each and every one of their playoff series. We feel it is of critical importance to this show and to this fan base and this audience to continue tracking all of these current Nashville Predators as they go back to Milwaukee and compete in the AHL for a championship. We will continue to track every play, every shift, just like we do for the Nashville Predators. We will also have the advantage of flowing in Nashville Predators coverage. We will dedicate Sean C. Smith and other analysts to focusing strictly on the Nashville Predators, while the rest of us divert north and go cover the Milwaukee Admirals. It's going to be a hell of a run for the Ads. So much forward looking to seeing them play again in the playoffs. That's going to do it for operation number 743. Happy Easter, Renegades. I sure hope everybody has a tremendous weekend. I sure hope everybody has a just truly a great day. I hope you have a nice, relaxing day with your family. I hope the weather's perfect, and I just hope it's a wonderful, wonderful Easter Sunday for each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect. I am your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Thank you so much, Renegades.